nothing changes there. Your SMS management system location, that doesn't change either. What we've done with the recent changes, if you remember on the older versions of SPS, you had to register all your keywords so the systems could talk to each other. So what we've done is we've automated this entire process. So anytime you create a new phone number in Wrecking Ball, a new keyword in Wrecking Ball, or edit a keyword in Wrecking Ball, it's going to reflect automatically in SPS. So when your clients log in on their end in SPS, they're going to see all their keyword campaigns and all their subscribers. How you set this up inside the Wrecking Ball, under personal information, you're going to go to settings, and then personal information here. You're going to put your tracking ID in SPS. By default, this is 10100. That is the admin ID. Next, you're going to check off using SPS, and then you're going to put the URL, which includes http:// your domain name, a directory if it's there, and then it's always going to end in post.sms.php. What this is going to do, anytime you create a campaign inside Wrecking Ball, it's going to automatically inherit those settings from the admin. And the same thing goes for the client account as well. Any settings that they have in their end, you're going to make sure you're going to pair up the tracking IDs, but I'm going to show that to you here in a second. Now what's cool, when we create a new campaign, let me just type in some gibberish here. Let's say we use a keyword ZZZZZZ, choose our phone number, campaign SMS, and if a member, we add our campaign. You'll see we're number 19 here. If I go back up to the SPS system, click refresh, that's automatically been added to the keyword store. Now let me go back and edit this so you can see that it'll take edits as well. So I change this keyword to ZZZZ3, go back to SPS, refresh, and then updated the campaign automatically. Now, remember, when we create new campaigns under the client account, what we're going to do is this. Let me come over here and let me create a new client in the system so you can see this actually working. It'll just take me a few seconds here to complete this. Now I get a lot of questions about when people fill out this form, if this information automatically is transcribed over to the Wrecking Ball. The only information that's going to be sent over to Wrecking Ball is the keyword, the phone number, and this welcome message when someone subscribes. This other information is not going to be added. You're going to want to, every time you get an email from the system that someone signed up, go back and revalidate all this information. Check it for spelling, even check it if they even filled it out right. Because sometimes they'll come through and they'll check, have this unchecked, that they don't want personal assistance, but then they won't complete this. If they check this off, all this information is invalid because that means they want you to contact them and help them out on their campaign. On their campaigns that go into the scheduler, this has to be manually by you because, like I said before, you have to. It's kind of an icebreaker if you really think about it. It kind of invokes you to call them just to validate that their campaign is exactly how they wanted it. If they have this unchecked, then you'll take this information and the date they want to send it out and plug it into your scheduler. All you do is copy and paste. It's all going to be in the email that goes back to you after they sign up. So let me go ahead and finish this up here. Go back to Wrecking Ball. Now you see here it added the free trial under the admin account under the shared phone number that's in SPS. Let me go back to the admin here. Now the shared number is derived from right here. This is the default Twilio SMS number that you're going to be using. You want to make sure you have that number added to your Wrecking Ball SMS. It doesn't have to be your main number. It can be any number that you can assign to the admin account. So all your free trials are going to share this one phone number, because we don't want all these people signing up to have different phone numbers. If we did that, it can get rather expensive for you, especially if you do a large postcard mailer and you have 100 people come through here and sign up for a free trial. That's going to cost you $100 a month just for the phone number. So under this system, the way we have it set up, everybody is going to share the same phone number. But what we're going to show here is the group title. And this puts all the client information, which includes their ID. If we click on Edit here, you'll see here it automatically took that ID of the member in SPS and brought it over here. So now anytime anything happens with this ID number in the system, it's going to automatically reflect inside SPS under the register, the keyword store, and the phone store. Now, let's say during a free trial, the client calls you and says, hey, I need to run an emergency campaign. I got a big event coming up on Friday. What you're going to do is find their name, just copy their ID. You're going to create a new campaign. And you want to change that tracking ID from the admin to the name of the member. So now, when you come back in here and you have a bunch of free trials and a bunch of additional midterm campaigns, is what I call it, when a free trialer runs additional campaigns during the free trial, this way you'll be able to track which ones belong to whom. And you just run the keywords, do everything as normal, and it'll automatically add it into the system. Jump back over here, check her out, see if she took. Bingo, bango. So it's all done automatically, and it's automatically reflected inside the members' back office for their campaigns. Now that covers the changes. Is there any questions as far as how that works right now?
I'm taking a look here. Let's see.
I want you all to keep in mind it's totally hands-off now. You don't have to do anything with the keyword store. This is just for reference now.
Jim says, big shout out to Ed for all of the help last Saturday with lots of exclamation points. Let's see. I know one that I forgot to get back to last week, Ed, that isn't on this part, but how to change the from a 30-day to like a 7-day free trial in SPS.
If you want to make it static, you're going to have to actually get into the coding. I can actually provide a training video how to do that. It's rather simple to do. All you're doing is editing one line inside the cron PHP. But if you want to change it on a per member basis, it's as easy as going into your members, then log in. We'll wait for this to load. Then we'll go into any account here. What happens when they're under a free trial, it's going to appear under current plan. Well, obviously, it's going to say activated. But you can change the date here when their free trial expires. If you want to change it from a 30-day to a 7-day, you can do it on the fly right here.
Okay. And then Jim says, can we edit the content on the free trial campaign? I'd like to make the request help setting up more prominent.
I believe he's referring to the actual form itself.
I think so. I think so.
So he wants to change all this information up here.
Well, I think what he's looking to do is just where you have the checkbox that says, click here for if you'd like personal assistance with these settings. Mm-hmm. I think he's just looking to maybe bold that. Or
what you can do is go into the register.php file, I think it is. I think this entire form just is laid out in a what you see is what you get format on that page. So if you're familiar with using an editor, HTML editor, you can do it from that page.
All right. And then we have one gentleman on the call that's still having issues with connecting the two pieces of software. And I think the main hang is just the URL that needs to be plugged in the bottom, close to the bottom of the settings, Ed.
Yeah, you got to make sure when you your settings that you have the correct URL to your wrecking ball. Now, what's critical here too is if you have any kind of HTTP redirect or a www redirect inside your system, it's going to totally foobar the entire setup for wrecking ball as well. Because if I went to HTTP wreckingball.sms.us and you had a www redirect, and I'm trying to send session variables, it's going to totally ignore the session variables and just go right to www.wreckingball.sms.us. So you want to make sure, and I've seen this on a couple installs, that you don't have any redirects that are built into your HTA access. Because like I said before, it's going to totally screw everything up. And WordPress is notorious for overriding HTA access. So if you install your WordPress on a separate directory inside your SPS install, it's going to totally ruin that too. Because depending on your settings of your WordPress, you can set it inside the admin in WordPress. Like, for example, this directory goes to a certain page. Well, that tells the system anything that is like this is bogus in HTA access. So it's going to be looking just for directories. So you want to make sure, don't be installing WordPress plugins on your Wrecking Ball site or your SPS site. It's going to totally hijack the system.
Yeah. And Lawrence says, how do we know if we have the redirect you're talking about? Well, Lawrence, if you haven't set up a redirect, you don't have it. You know, it's not something that happens by accident. It's something that's done intentionally. And
the best way to find out is if you go to your website, http://mydomain.com, and then when it goes to the page, it instantly says www.mydomain.com. Then you have our redirect on your DNS set up.
So if it's putting the www in up in the browser bar, then it's a problem.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. I thought when someone subscribes an SPS, the two campaigns are supposed to be posted in the calendar automatically.
No, it won't do that. Because like I said before, you can't count on businesses knowing what they're doing. And initially when we create SPS, it did everything automatically on that end. But we actually had some clients that, not clients, but marketers that wouldn't follow up with the business. So when their campaigns went out on the auto scheduler, it was the one that was defaulted inside the actual form. So they didn't check off that they needed help, but then again, they didn't actually fill this information out. So when their clients got a campaign SMS, this is what it said.
Got it. And Daniel says, so if I request an upgrade, will all of my current settings and everything in SPS be preserved?
Absolutely. When you do the upgrade, it does not involve anything with SQL. If you did edit the actual template, I've seen this a couple times. If you've edited just the images itself, you can upload everything from the update file over, but just don't do the images directory inside the zip folder. That way it'll preserve your template.
So, and if they've done any custom work inside of the PHP files, then there could be a problem.
There could be a problem, but I'll tell you this, Dave, we really haven't changed anything on the front end of the system as far as the updates for a long time. The main file you need to be concerned about is the post sms.php. That's the only real file that's been evolving as we go forward.
Perfect.
So you can leave your entire root directory, all the files alone, except for the post sms.php.
Okay. And can we show Simon how to add a features tab real quick?
A features tab?
I think he just wants to add a features tab in the content manager that displays on the front page here.
Well, you can't actually add a tab because these are static the way the system's set up. You're more than welcome though.
Well, he can add a features link though down in links and resources.
Absolutely. I'll show you how to do that. You're going to go to content. You're going to go to create page. Do your title. Oops. Do your title. The system's automatically going to assign a link for you. You don't have to do anything here. Or if you're linking outside the website, you're going to do an HTTP, yourdomain.com. You can do your own little description that describes the page. You can decide where that page opens up. where it appears on your website. You can add pages to your member back office too. The order it appears in the order of links, and then your content. And then when I click save here, if I got all the settings correct, it should add that page right here. And it takes the title and it puts it up here. So make sure you and that's how you do that.
All right. And Sabrina's got a question, wants to know, is there, basically, to shorten the question up, is there any way to, she has sales reps out promoting the system, is there any way to track which sales reps, which clients belong to which reps?
Yeah, that's going to be happening here in a week. We're going to be providing the next update next Friday. It's going to have the invoicing feature, and it's going to have affiliate tracking too.
Perfect. Pretty cool. What do you, don't you think, guys? I think that's pretty badass. Let's see. Michael says, when I log into Wrecking Ball, I have to clear my browser. Has this been fixed in the latest update? Yes and no. We did do a session variable fix that should ease that pain for an awful lot of you. I can't promise that it's 100% fixed. Certain browsers may react different. You know, if you need to bounce back and forth, if you, let's say you've got a heavy day going and you need to bounce back and forth between SPS and the Wrecking Ball system, the easiest way, if you're going through, if you're having that problem, is just to open two browsers and use one for Wrecking Ball and one for SPS. However, we did do a session variable fix that should fix that for most of you. I can't swear that it's going to be across the board, but it should fix the problem for almost everybody.
Here's a little tutorial for you. If you're having constant issues, it's probably something at the browser level, but sometimes there's an issue at the DNS level as well. What you can do is come over to your start menu on your PC, Windows PC, go to ipconfig/flush DNS, and it'll flush your DNS.
Okay, and we'll make sure and get that tagged in what Eric's doing on all these Q&A webinars, as you guys have probably seen, is he's taking notes behind the scenes right now, and then we're putting a timestamp to the call, so we'll have a list of the questions that were answered and exactly where to scroll to in the recording to get that question answered. So there's been a couple of people in here saying, Ed, slow down, Ed, slow down. Ed moves pretty fast. Ed's a coder, you guys. So, but we will be able to index the recordings for you, and you'll be able to pause and rewind and back them up and go over all these things again on the recording, so that's not a problem. Dean wants to know, is WordPress on a subdomain going to cause a problem?
Once again, it's all contingent on how you have your WordPress install set up. I wish I had an actual WordPress I can get into. But there is a section in WordPress that allows you to change the formats inside WordPress. And in most cases, what it does when you change the formats to where somebody just goes to SPS, they'll go to a specific page. What this does, it totally hijacks the HTA access on that initial domain itself.
So it's really about the permalinks setting, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. You hit it now right on the head there, bud.
So yeah, if your permalinks are set to like the default permalinks that are going to be like my domain /P123 for a page number, it's probably not an issue. But if your permalinks are set to page name or post name, and one of your page names or post names is similar to /SPS, then you're going to have a problem. If you're installing WordPress with Fantastico, it's a fairly easy experiment to perform. You can go ahead and install it. Just make sure and use Fantastico to remove it if it doesn't work, and you'll be okay. But I've had situations where I've had WordPress running and it causes a problem, and I've had WordPress running and it doesn't cause a problem, and I never was able to find out exactly what the differences were and why that was happening. So it's it's kind of on a case-by-case basis, you know, and there's no one answer we can give you that's going to answer all those questions. Let's see. Edward says, can Ed change the date on the SPS sign-up to 2012? Currently, it's set for last year.
Let me check.
Down by the texts, he says.
Right here? Oh, this was, yeah, he means the example dates here. Yeah, absolutely, we can do that for you.
Yep, that's what he's talking about. And Lawrence says, I'm sorry I missed. How do we upgrade both the SMS and the SPS systems? The SMS, or the Wrecking Ball system, Lawrence, simply put in a support request, an update, make sure that we have all the information we need to do that. You're going to get a response back from support that says, please confirm a bunch of information on a page, and then when you do that, we'll update you. Ed, why don't you show them again how to check the version and how to get an update on the SPS.
Let me go into a different install here. Oops. Install in a while. At the very bottom here, there is going to be update file. All you're going to do is take all the folders and all the files and transfer them over to your SPS location, where it's on itself, the root, or if it's inside of a folder. Just transfer all the files over, and the system is instantly updated. Up to this point, there's been no SQL changes. I've kind of looked ahead when it comes to SQL, and I've added additional columns inside my table, so when I do have additional SQL queries that need to happen, it's done automatically just by changing the files themselves.
All right. And Mark Gamble, I see your question in the question box. We'll dive into that on the support desk as soon as we get off this call. He's having some issues with some things not working that I suspect are cron job related, but we'll tear into that over in the support desk as soon as we get off the call here and figure out what's going on and why that's not working for you. Let's see. Yeah, Ron says, can we put, is there any kind of a change log file in the updates so we know which files have been modified? Is there a README or a change log file in that download, Ed? Or
there currently isn't now, but going forward, we're going to do that on version 2.01.
Okay, so that's coming, and in the Wrecking Ball system, I've been trying to keep an accurate change log inside of the members area. We will probably start transposing the change log from SPS into that section as well, so you guys can keep track of them. And that way, if you have done custom editing of certain PHP files, you'll be able to keep up. Simon wants to know, this is about the features tab. You're welcome, Simon, to jump into the PHP file and add a button or add a tab if you want to. I don't know if that's necessarily something we want to cover 100%, because it's gonna what's gonna happen is a lot of people that shouldn't be doing it are gonna try it. It's gonna cause problems. But
if you were gonna do it, you do it like this. Just open up the initial. I think there's 4 or 5 pages that have these tabs on the home page. Just take this image here, open it up in your image editor. Just black this out, change the content. This is Arial font here. Create your image, upload it, and now you have another button here. When you change that image, and then link it over, and then it'll make that change. You just add a tab. There's probably enough room to add up to 2 more tabs, but after that, you're gonna have to start adding them to the very bottom, right here.
So, and the best way to do that, Ed, would be to go ahead and add a link first, and that way you're creating the page, and then just put a button up top that links to that page, correct?
You got it, brother.
All right. Let's see. Jason says, can you use add-on domains for SPS, WB, SMS? Yeah, absolutely, Jason. That's not an issue at all. Let's see. Eric, I know you're not you can't speak, but Eric, ticket 790624. 790624. Write that one down so we can make sure and address that immediately after the call.
Hey, Dave, I want to add too.
Yep.
Let's say this free trial has expired and they became a client. You're going to want to take their ID, go to client info, add a client, put in their tracking ID, and then all their information. You're going to want to buy them a phone number, and this will automatically add the phone number to their account. And then once you hit add client, it'll take that information and put it in the SPS keyword store automatically. So all you're doing is transferring their SPS ID into the tracking ID. Now, when they create new campaigns, if you're giving them access to the wrecking ball, anytime they create a campaign, it's automatically tracked back to SPS. If you're not giving them access, they're still going to be able to see everything you're doing here as far as campaign-wise. Anytime a keyword is created inside the system, actually, anytime you see this web URL, that's going to be a trackable function inside Wrecking Ball that's going to transfer over to SPS.
So, and I think that's maybe where a lot of the confusion comes in. Mark says when a new user signs up for a 30-day SPS trials, it's supposed to automatically create a new group in SMS. It does, Mark, but it does it under the admin account. It does not create a new client. Okay? So that's what it just showed us is when that new user comes off of their 30-day trial and you want to move them to a dedicated account, then you would create a new client and pair that client ID up there where Ed's cursor is with that new client account. So
we're doing this because we want all the free trials to share one number. And the keyword segregation is automatically done by SPS, so there's never going to be two keywords that are the same under the free trial phone number that you've allotted in the system.
Exactly. Let's see. Is the domain for our flyers, etc., be yourdomain.com/SPS, or can it be just your default domain name? Yeah, you could put it on /SPS, Jason, or you could put it right on the front page, on the root at yourdomain.com. I think that would be the more typical setup, would be to just put it right on the main domain, as that's most likely where the traffic is going to be landing. Let's see. Currently building a website in which people can request a property listing be text message to them. Can the WB SMS be integrated there? Let's see. Currently building a website in which people can request a property listing be text to them. Can the WBS be integrated there? Not directly, Juan. But yeah, I mean that's just a little twist on the $1,000 a day system, which for a fact you're familiar with. It would just be a matter of using the lead notifier campaigns and, putting the appropriate keywords and phone numbers on your website. And that could absolutely be done. As a matter of fact, that's about the perfect use for it. So, Dean says, well, with all these updates, SPS and SMS is the product that keeps on giving. We like to think so. We like to think so. Let's see. Janita says, I'm having problems with my cron job. I've changed it and still get error emails from HostGator. What should I do? Well, the Reader's Digest.
SPS and Wrecking Ball?
Yeah, for one or both or the other. Punch it into the question box. Both. Says, and I we'll just go with Mr. McBride. I may be mispronouncing the front or the name incorrectly. There's several cron job formats that you can use. Some people seem to have problems with one format or another, and we really don't know why, because then we get in there and test them, and they seem to work fine. But Ed's putting them on the screen right here. And this would be typical of a HostGator cron job. If you're using a PHP-style cron job, they look just a little bit different. But
what's the one for SMS?
It's send underscore SMS underscore cron job, I think.
Cron job, all one word?
Yeah, I believe so. And let me just double check that to make sure I'm not giving out bad information here. Open this file up. Where is it? Xcrons.
Now, I believe in some of the tutorials you have this actually different, Dave, as far as the initial format.
Well, I think
did a test under the HostGator. I did a test, and this actually the same thing for SPS works for HostGator too, for the SMS system.
Yeah, and if you're on GoDaddy and some other servers, they actually allow you to just browse for the file that you're looking for. It is send underscore SMS underscore cron underscore job PHP Ed. Yeah, and I think the HostGator cron job that we're giving out in the members area is the PHP /home/username/public HTML. And that seems to work for some people, and for some people it doesn't.
I would say if it doesn't work, Dave, I think the initial problem is you might be on an add-on domain and you're not doing your path correctly.
Right, and that's where I think a lot of the confusion comes in. Is if it's an add-on domain, then you have to add in the username and the home and all of that stuff. But if it's the main domain, then you don't need that.
Something like this.
Yeah, and the bottom line here, guys, is we're more than happy to help with a cron job. We got no problem with that. But very often, a much faster solution to your problem is to call your hosting company and tell them which file you're trying to get the cron job to ping, which in the case of Wrecking Ball is the send underscore SMS underscore cron underscore job.php. And as long as you know that's the file you're trying to ping with the cron job, they will tell you what the proper cron job for the server that you're on is. Because, like, we can't even say across the board if it's HostGator, use this. Because a lot of it depends on if it's a HostGator reseller program, which HostGator account you're on, whether it's a VPS or not. There's a lot of differences in servers, and there's a lot of differences in the way the cron jobs behave. But the bottom line is you're trying to get the cron job to look for exactly that PHP file, and for the SPS system, it's the free trial underscore cron.php. That's at the top of the page Ed's got showing here. So there's a lot of ways to get a cron job to point at that file. It just all depends on the server configuration. Yeah, and Lee just punched in, my host required this first, /usr/bin/p-q. So, I mean, it's absolutely impossible for us to address every single situation. What we try to do is address the most common ones. And if it's not working, we can go back and forth with you for 3-4 days, but typically a quick 10-minute phone call to your hosting company fixes it. And
yeah, it's a lot better than trial and error on our end.
It really is, because they're going to know exactly what it should be required. 1and1.com requires an SSH to set up a cron job. I think you mean an SSL. But yeah, 1and1 is absolutely a pain in the ass company to work with if you want to do anything outside of their system. Yeah, Juan, we will. It's we'll put a note in the members area or in the forum or both of which two files you need to have your hosting company reference. That's no problem. We'll do that for you.
Another good way, Dave, I don't know if you guys can see the actual update files here. Another way to tell if files have been edited is by looking at the date modified.
Oh, on an update. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great tip.
You can see here, and the total file set here for the front end page is all the same. But if you go to the very top here, the free trial and the post SMS changed. You can tell by the date here.
Yeah, so if you download the zip file before the changelog, and you want to know which files have been modified, just sort by date modified. You'll be able to pick them out very, very easily. So, I think 2 weeks ago you said that a new update, there will be a new update released. Has it been released? Yeah, Stephen, are you just getting on the call late or something? That's what we've been talking about for an hour here. Yeah, this is a new update. And Rick says, no, SSH is secure PuTTY type of program, not SSL. Okay, you know more about it than I do then.
Yeah, SSH is a pain in the ass, man. It is a serious pain.
Yeah, 1&1 is not designed to be a universal hosting company. 1&1 is absolutely designed to use their system and nothing else. We've tried on a couple of occasions to work with 1&1, and they don't want us in there. They really don't. If you're on 1&1 and you're having problems, spend $4.99 over at HostGator and get a baby plan. That's what I can tell you. You'll save yourself so much time in the long run. It's just, it's just not worth playing with. Trust us. We've been there. We've been trying it, and it's just not working. Yeah, thanks, Rick. I appreciate that. Rick says no problems, just volunteering. Yeah, and Stefan, we will have a recording up on this, and if you missed the first part of the webinar, we'll make sure and get that in your hands here. Dave and Ed, to get the cron to work with HostGator, I had to go and change the cron command from wget to PHP. And that's exactly what we're talking about, Mario. Every server configuration is going to be slightly different, and there's just no way we can put out a blanket answer to that. It will take some screwing around, but from Eric here, it's as easy as jumping on their support chat and asking. It's a very easy question for the hosting company to answer, and they'll get you an answer within 5 minutes. And he's absolutely right. Very frankly, oftentimes when you guys put in a support ticket with us, that's all we do, is we get a hold of your support company, once we have your server credentials, and we ask them, and they take care of it, and then we reply to you because we just don't know the answer for every single server configuration.
Hey, I wanted to add too, Dave. I don't know if this was covered on any of the calls before, but we do have first data payment service for SPS already inside the back office. So all you need to do is download the zip file, transfer the files over. It's called First Data Global Gateway Connect is the service you're going to want. It's Card Service International.
Yep, absolutely. Mark says, I am wanting to update SPS and read the README file which says which files are uploaded. No, Mark, what we said was going forward, we will have a change log in there. However, we don't currently. But if you use the trick that Ed just showed you, you can tell immediately which files have been updated just by sorting by last date modified. And if you sort by date modified, it's very obvious that really there's two PHP files that we're talking about here that have been modified. So, all right. It would be great if the contest would send the loser's code. All right, we'll come back to that one. What is the BYOW?
That is bring your own website.
Oh.
Right here. That means you can bring your own front-end website and just utilize the back end of SPS.
Yeah, and we actually haven't touched on that on a webinar. Ed, do you have an installation up of the back end, or can you cover it with this installation exactly? What's considered back end and what's considered front end in that version?
This is considered anything involving dashboard here. With the admin, this is back end. If I go to the demo account here, this is considered back end. This is considered back end. Now, what's considered front end is these pages here. Obviously, you're going to have to do copy this image with the link and put it on your website to utilize the webinar system. But everything else can be your own website, and we provide you instructions on how to take this form here, from here down, and place it inside your WordPress page or your HTML page. There's videos provided.
Perfect. All right, let's see. And all right, Mark says, Dave, the README file is not clear. It says upload all files except assets, install, and INC folder. My issue is I don't even see those files.
Because it's not included on the actual install update files. If you're using the install zip file, then those instructions are what they're for. Don't do
Gotcha.
it.
So the README,
you're going to totally, because people sometimes will download the update file and think that's the install file, but there's the full install files are right here, and those instructions apply to that.
Gotcha. So the README file is really about the full update, Mark. If you're doing, or really about a full install, if you're doing just the update, it's really to drag everything in, right, Ed?
Yeah, I can actually do a demo here if you want. It'll only take a second.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. I am in FileZilla. I go to my SPS install. It's in the SPS directory. Now I'm going to unzip. Here's my site update file. You have two options here. You can either just go to everything that has the date, bring it over, or make sure you always overwrite. Just highlight everything, control left click, and slide it over, and you're done. Your update's complete. Now, if you have a customized front-end template that someone did for you or you did yourself, you're just going to worry about the post SMS file and just drag that over.
And Daniel says if we just drag those two files over, will it update the version number in SPS?
Nope, you're going to have to go even further deeper looking into all the folders as well. Let me come back here. The only updates we're going to be doing is on the front end. On the front end here, inside the members folder, up to here, to here, and then the admin from here to here, and the includes folder. That's it.
But unless you've done custom coding inside of the PHP files, just drag it all over.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, and if you've done custom coding, then you should you shouldn't be doing custom coding unless you understand all of that, is the bottom line. So, let's see. When I did the update on my site, it took out my video.
It shouldn't touch your video. Your video is being called from a cloud server.
Yeah,
there has been no change to the webinar pages in months.
So yeah, check that URL is still intact, Simon, inside your system.
I'm going to put it in the chat box here, Dave.
Okay.
Actually, Dave, I'm going to send it to you because I can't, for some reason, send it to everybody else.
Oh, all right. And I got my chat disabled. Here, Ed, I'll just Let me make you an organizer instead of just a presenter. Then you can. All right. Oh, shit. Where'd my question box go? There it is. And Eric says Mark is...
a lot of questions, too, about the actual video itself. They want to use their own video. You're going to want to make sure you're on a cloud. So if you just upload an MP4 to your cPanel, it's not going to stream correctly. It's going to have to buffer. It's not going to look like a live webinar. You're going to want to make sure you have your MP4 files on a cloud. I have seen the ability to upload an MP4 to the cPanel, but you're talking maybe a 5-minute presentation for everything to stream correctly. You have to have special hosting on cPanel for that to work. I think it's called MMPG hosting.
Got it. All right. Eric says, Mark Gamble, you're good to go. I don't know if he notified you that via the ticket, but Eric took care of your support ticket while we're on the call here, so you're all set. And Eric also says, I think they made a change to the PHP to have a video on the main landing page. Is that the deal, Simon?
No, I think I have seen that before. Somebody did a tweak to the template, and I believe that gentleman asked me if he could provide that service to other SPS users. I said, hey, no problem. So you're going to have to go to the forum and find who the gentleman is that's doing those templates.
Got it. And Simon says yes. Take a look at mobilize with a Z.com. Got it.
It's not clickable, though. I think they're probably still working on the site. I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm not sure who did this customization for you, Simon, but you're going to have to get with them to find out what's going wrong here, because we obviously can't answer the question.
Yeah, I think it's a simple CSS fix here. It just involves putting a layer over this. You probably a YouTube video or whatever. I just seen a site yesterday that had it working. It looked pretty sweet.
Cool. So that's somebody in our forum. Oh, I see. Simon says before he did the update, it was working. Is the deal. So again, Simon, whoever you got that customization from is going to need to address what happened during the update, because we don't know what he did.
Yeah, I think what happens when you moved over those files, it deleted your index file, and then brought over the new index. It inherited all your images, but it didn't inherit the CSS changes that the gentleman did to your website. So I'm sure he probably has a local copy on his server. Just transfer that index right back over, and everything should start working again.
And let's see. And Joe says, I paid Phil to install everything for me. Do I need to pay him again to update each time you send out an update? That's not a question for us, Joe. That's a question for Phil. The update's very easy to do. If you spent an hour learning how to use those systems, you would never have to worry about it ever again. That's what I can say.
I'll be more than happy to do it. Just make sure if you send the credentials over, make sure those credentials are right, because I don't want to be fighting back and forth for 2 hours and trying to log into your FTP server.
Yeah, so we can take care of it for you, but just make sure if you put in a support ticket requesting it, we have everything we need to do it. So that's going to mean your cPanel username, your cPanel password, because we obviously need to get into your FTP in order to make that work. So otherwise it's going to be 3-4 days of back and forth, trying to get all the information. Just make sure we have it all, and we'll get it taken care of. Let's see. Mario says my recording is not going to work. It's all on you, Des. Let's see. Sorry if I missed this, but the update that was going to take place on Wrecking Ball SMS with the notifier, is that available yet? If so, where's the file? Yeah, Isaac, it is available. Just put in a support ticket requesting an update. And again, make sure you give us all of your information. You're going to get a reply that asks you to confirm some information, and then we will update you, and you'll be all set to go. Yeah, Stefan says you could just compare the CSS files from the old working version to the new update. Yeah, you could, Stefan, but you're a coder. Let's not forget that some of the people asking these questions are not. I would recommend, Simon, that you get with the person that did the customization and hold them accountable to make it work, or at least get their opinion on why it's not working. I personally, I think if you don't understand the CSS, that's a much safer route for you. Let's see, I have this error at the top right corner of my SPS. Today is warning date, parentheses, parentheses, function date. So he's getting a warning. It's not displaying the date up in the upper right-hand corner on the today is, Ed. Any ideas?
Yeah, this is a problem that's slowly starting to reoccur. For some reason, all the hosting companies are starting to think that displaying a date is some sort of security issue. There is a PHP any fix for that, and I can give you those files. Just send me a support ticket, and I'll deliver that file to you right away.
All right, so just put in a support ticket if you're having that error show on the today is date. We've got a fix for it, and you just have to slide it in during using your FTP.
Or you can just open up your PHP any file inside your server and add this line. You're going to want to go to php.net and figure out what your time zone is, and that way it'll set that for you inside your server, and you'll be all set. The error will disappear.
All right. What is the latest version of SMS available to us? It's 5.6.7, Lawrence. 3.6.7. I'm sorry. 3.6.7. The new zip file in the members area is at 5.29 right now. I'll be updating that today. But on an update, we're going to bring you to 3.6.7. Let's see. If we customized the content pages, top section, not coding, but just the content pages like pricing PHP and about us PHP section, which files do we need to back up?
You don't need to back up anything because all this content is brought in from SQL. So you're going to want to do SQL backups.
Right. So if they drag all of the files over, none of that customization is going to be overwritten as long as they weren't doing customization inside of the PHP coding.
That's correct.
So, Rick, as long as you haven't been in the files screwing around with the files themselves and all of the customization was just done through the buttons that are available to you, you don't have anything to worry about. It's just
I could totally delete this entire website and bring the install back over, and everything is going to go back to how it was before.
Right, because it's all because it's all written in the MySQL database. Let's see. Regarding WB SMS updates, now that our licenses are tied to passwords, does a password change affect multiple installs? Yes, it absolutely will, Mario. Now, there is a place in the members area where you can go. As a matter of fact, Ed, let me take the screen back from you here.
Okay.
And we'll go over some of this stuff here real quick. And yeah, okay, so there's that. Sorry, I'm just getting my question box back up. So you can change your password in here. If you come into settings and come into personal information, you can change your password. However, it has to be done in a very specific order. You have to change the password in your Wrecking Ball system before you log out. And then over within the members area, we have a page called version 3. Okay? And here is all of your registered information. So you're going to want to have both of these systems open and be logged into both of them. And you can come right here and you can change your password and submit it. And then go ahead and change your password. Oh, you can't? Huh. I'm sorry. I thought that was editable. Eric says, Dave, you're wrong. You can't change your password. Okay? Like, if I change this, I cannot log back in, okay, until we've matched your password in our system. So I absolutely cannot log in. Now, you could go into your MySQL database and change your password back. So if you lock yourself out by mistake, it is fixable, but be aware of the fact that if you change this, if you haven't already changed it in our system through the support desk, you're not going to be able to log in here. And that's going to be a problem. So unless you have a very, very distinct need to do it, I wouldn't. If you have a definite need that makes sense to do it, let us know. We'll work with you if we can. You know, I mean, if there's a reason to do it, we'll do it. But I don't personally, I don't see the need very often to have to change that. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are going to punch in here for kinds of reasons, but the reality is I don't know that there's a very legit reason to do it very often. Dwight says, how do I access your comment/question room? Dwight, are you talking about our forum? Is that what you... Dwight, punch in a yes or a no. Is that what you mean? Waiting on an answer from Dwight here. I think that's what you need, what you mean, and that is just at wreckingballsms.com/forum. And that actually gets you over to our support forum, which is right here. There's a lot of activity and a lot of great information going on in here, so take advantage of it.
Dave, you think it'd be a good idea to show them how to change their password inside PHPMyAdmin?
Password. It's a matter of going into the cPanel of your installation, and you want to go to My PHP Admin, and you're going to go to the database associated with your installation. In the case of the one we're talking about, it's Dave, and you're going to browse client information right here. Okay? And let me move my go-to webinar box, and if I scroll over to the right a little bit,
oh, back the other way.
Did I miss it?
Yep. Right there.
You can see here's a password column in the table. So you're just going to edit that password. Click Inline Edit. Come back over here to the password. And you would just edit this. And come back over and click Save. So if you were to lock yourself out by accident, that would be how you would do it. You would just come into your MySQL database, the client information table, edit that table, and change the password back to what it was. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, don't do it. That's the bottom line. Let's see. Webinar recordings are in the members area and in the forum as quickly as we can get them up, Jim. Yes, where are you taking questions right now? Right here in the question box, Dwight. That's where we're taking questions right now. So if you have one, punch it in. Let's see. Sabrina says, can you have somebody take a look at ticket 700185? I can't access my system since the upgrade. It says there's a license problem. Please help. Eric, 700185 for Sabrina. 700185. Let's see. When you update WB SMS to version 3 to the latest version, will we be able to update our installation ourselves, or we still need to request an update via support? As of right now, Mike, you need to request an update via support. We're working on a system to allow you to schedule your own updates. I expect it'll be there sometime this week or early next week. It'll be in the members area, and we'll tell you all about it. But for now, just put in a support ticket, and we'll get you updated real quickly. If we need to change the password in PGPMyAdmin, I think you mean PHP, we won't be able to log in because it'll give a license error. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Stefan. You have to change the password. I'm not telling people that they can go into my PHP admin and change their password. What I'm telling them is if they accidentally change their password here, let me just show you. So let's say I change this password here, and now I log out. Now I can't log in, right? It won't let me log in anymore. Even if I put this password in correctly, it's going to tell me I have to clear my cache. So now, if I put this in, it's not going to let me log in, okay? What we're telling people is that if they accidentally log themselves out, they can come in here and fix it by changing it back to what it should or what it was. So if I come back in here and go to client information, now you can see my changed password is going to be in here. See, it says password 1, and that doesn't match our system anymore, so it won't let me log in. So now I can come back and I can change it back to what it was supposed to be, which was just password for this installation, and save it. And now, if I come back over, and now I can log in again. That's what I'm instructing people to do. I'm not saying you can go into the My PHP admin and change your password. What I'm telling you is if you accidentally locked yourself out and you can't wait for support, then that's how you could fix it yourself. And Eric says, all of these tickets came in during the webinar. I can't do tickets and this webinar and keep up right now. Eric's feeling a little frustrated, guys. We'll get to your tickets as soon as we get off the call. Don't worry about it. Let's see. Having trouble getting into my account in the members area dashboard. Can you show it? You shouldn't be having any issues. It's at sms.com/login. And I'm already, well, I cleared my cookies, so I'm not logged in anymore. But you should just be entering your username, and you should be able to get right in there, Marty. I don't know why I won't be able to with changes. Maybe try clearing your cookies and your cache if you're having an issue getting in, but there's no problem with the members area. Let's see. Dwight says, I'm not seeing them. Guess I'm not seeing them.
What's the optimum browser we should be using for a Wrecking Ball?
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Ed?
What is the optimum browser we should be using for Wrecking Ball?
Chrome, according to the programmer. But anything, I'm going to say don't use Internet Explorer. That's what I'm going to tell you. Chrome seems to work just fine. That's what I use. Firefox seems to work just fine. Internet Explorer is an issue for some people. That's what I can say. Now, I also know of a handful of people that are using Internet Explorer that don't have any problems. But according to the coder, the programmer that wrote the vast majority of the software, Chrome is the right browser to be using. So the bottom line is if it's working for you and you're not having any weird issues, then it's working. Don't worry about it. So when exactly can we download the new updates? The SMS you'll be uploaded later. Stefan, again, all you got to do is put in a support ticket and we'll update you. The download of the new 6.7 will be in the members area today. And Eric says, even though he's frustrated, Sabrina is good to go. Don't have enough bandwidth to support them, you need a new hosting company because it doesn't get much lighter than this. Let's see. Franco Totino. Let's see. Tracking group campaigns, tracking ID box is empty. No ID was posted from SPS subscriber. Please see screencast. Package tab, when I click it, nothing shows on my page. I cannot build any packages. Please see screencast. Franco, can you please copy that into support? I can't access those screencast links right here. But we'll get you taken care of. I'm sure it's something stupid and simple because it's working for the other 680 users. So there's something out of order. So yeah, paste those into a support ticket and we'll get them taken care of. When will the new mobile customization be ready? We talked about that. It is ready. Can we do a survey? No, Juan. Yeah, let's address that real quick, too. There was a WSO released on Saturday the 9th from the, I can't remember the guy's name, what's his name, the PPC Bandit or something like that. Same guy that's got the the SMS Lord. And he came out with a new WSO that does surveys. No, as of right now, you cannot run that kind of a survey inside of the Wrecking Ball system. I've already spoken with the programmer. We think it's coming very, very quickly, though. So I bought that WSO and took a look at it. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, the reality is, even with the simple, lightweight tools, you can go out and do a lot of damage money-wise. But I think the survey system that we are talking about is going to be a lot better. And we are looking to make sure that it's possible to include that inside the system. I'm not sure if it will be a dedicated function or if it will just be enabling multi-staged polling, which would accomplish the exact same thing. So, Mark, you just need to update your system to get the mobile customization. Just put in a support ticket, request an update. It's done, it's working, everything's good to go there. We just need to update your system. Let's see. And Rick says, Firefox recent update is causing a lot of cache issues. Okay. I did not know that. Like I said, I use Chrome, and I'm going to recommend Chrome because I have absolutely zero problems with it. So if you're looking for my recommendation, it's Chrome. And to wrap this all up, there's already a couple of these in the question box, but Dave, please let Eric know that he rocks. How about a big round of applause for Eric, you guys? Eric is behind the scenes, always, practically 24/7, and I know that he would love to hear your feedback. If you have anything good to say about Eric, I would love for you to let him know about it. Put in a support ticket and just let him know that he's doing a good job. We obviously couldn't do this without him. He's an integral and critical member of the team, and we don't say that enough in public, perhaps. We do our best to make sure that Eric is not getting beat up too hard, and sometimes we don't always do a very good job of that, but if Eric's doing a fantastic job for you, I would appreciate it if you would let him know that. It's human nature, you guys, that we all bitch when there's a problem. We forget sometimes to go out of our way and let people know when they've done a good job. And as a people and as a society, we need to do more of that. So if Eric's done a good job for you, I would appreciate it and encourage you to let him know that. Just jump in the support desk and give him a kudos because he works his ass off for you, and we couldn't do this without him. So with that said, we're going to wrap this one up for the day. We will be back on Thursday. We're going to do what we thought we were going to do last week until GoTo screwed us. And we're going to take and set up a new client and go through the entire new client setup and just add a campaign and just go campaign by campaign over the next couple of webinars and get that going. I think that's going to help a lot of you. Steve, I see your question. That's exactly what we're going to tackle on Thursday, is we're going to go step A, step B, and start with a basic SMS campaign. I think that's the most common type of campaign. Obviously, we can do all kinds of crazy stuff with our Wrecking Ball SMS system, but the campaign that's going to get used the most is a standard sign up and send, as we like to call it. So that will be first, and we'll be doing that on Thursday. and we will get this recording processed as quickly as we can. Des, if you've got it, I'd really appreciate it. Send it over to me via S3. That will save me days and days and days worth of time. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Des says will do. We're also going to explore on the next one to try and save myself a little time. I did this in the past. It's just a matter of me getting out in front of it. But if I get a second computer going to do the recording, that helps out quite a bit, and we're just going to have to start doing that because it's just a pain in the ass to do it any other way. Let's see. Taking a quick scan through here. Can't send my entire list from the mobile notifier. Is this a known issue in the older version of Wrecking Ball SMS? I don't think it is, Mike. That's the first I've heard of that. If you're asking you can't send to your super list or your super list from the mobile, no, you shouldn't be able to, if that's the question. And if I'm misunderstanding the question, pop it into the support desk and we will take care of it immediately. I want you all to have a fantastic day and a very profitable tomorrow. You know where to find us, and if I don't talk to you before then, we will see you all on Thursday. Have a great day, everybody.
The organizer has ended the session, and this call will be disconnected. Goodbye.